Hi, Twitter. How are you? Hi, Periscope. This is John Bowen with Hub Edge Realty. I am the owner of Hub Edge Realty, and this is the first time I'm using Periscope and Twitter with this account. I use it with my personal account once in a while, but I usually don't talk about real estate on either of those personal accounts. So, what I want to do today is I want to help uh, real estate agents. I want to help them with their Twitter profiles. I look at a lot of real estate agent. I want to recruit real estate agents. I want real estate agents to come work with my brokerage, and I look at real estate agents' profiles to see if they could be a good match. Okay, I just started recruiting agents or realtors again for the first time in years. I used to have 12 agents working for me back in about 2006 to 2008 when I had an office in Hyde Park. But I decided to kind of be a lone wolf for a long time. So I've started looking to recruit agents again, and I use LinkedIn and I use Twitter, a little bit of Facebook, not too much Facebook. So let's go take a look. What we're going to do is we're going to try to look at some competing real estate agents' Twitter profiles, and we're going to see. I'm going to critique them, and I'm not going to do it in a negative way because nobody wants that. I'm going to do it and try to give some advice, some guidance, some education. This is if you're a real estate agent and you have a Twitter profile. This is really for you. You really want to look at this. I see so many real estate agents with Twitter profiles, and they're bad. They're just they're boring. You can see that they're canned. Some of them have some inappropriate content. So, all right, let's take a look here. Okay. So, all right. So this is a Twitter. This is the Twitter advanced search. And if you know Twitter at all, I guess you're watching this on Twitter. You will probably not use the advanced search too much. You can do a lot of great stuff with it, and then you can also use it on TweetDeck, which we'll get into in a little bit. But TweetDeck is a great application for desktops. So let's go take a look. Let's search. We're going to search near Massachusetts. We're going to search for any words that say realtor or realtors or real estate or realty, condos, condominium, all those kind of things. So let's search and see what we come up with. Okay. I should have probably taken the commas out of there. So let's go back. All right. Realtor, realtors, real estate. How is it going to know if it's one way? All right. Condo, condominium, condos and condominiums. Okay, and we're going to do near Massachusetts. Okay, so we're going to hit search and we're going to see what we come up with. I'm already logged in as Hub Edge Realty on Twitter, and we're going to look at Julie Malloy. She's the first one that comes up. Okay, so obviously the picture right here is important, and she's got a good professional photo. And I also see, let's pull her full profile up. And so kind of a rule of thumb here for this banner image here is not, because there are so many different types of screens, there are mobile screens, and there are all types of screens. My advice would be to keep any text out of this is called the banner image. She actually has it in a good place. If it was over here to the right or too far to the left, it might get cut off on a mobile phone, iPhone or whatever. I don't know how it would look on all devices, but my advice would be, of course, you want people to have your email address and your cell phone number as a real estate agent, but try to keep that text out of that banner image. Okay, so this is good. She has Canton, Mass. So, some real estate agents I see do not fill that out. Okay, she also has a link to her business, which is great. Okay, and up here, this real estate professional serving Greater Boston, South of Boston, and South Shore. That's okay. You have 170 characters there, and my opinion there is you use them all. You don't use capitalization where you don't need to. And be more specific. Use, it's called SEO, search engine optimization. So maybe she should say something like, I'm assuming people at Success are realtors. So I would say realtor serving, she's in Canton. So maybe Canton and the surrounding communities, Stoughton, Sharon, Milton, things like that. Okay. But that's pretty good. Let's see let's go to tweets and replies. All right. So she's engaging lately. Okay. She's 23 hours ago. She engaged with the Neponset River Regional Chamber. Okay. One thing I will say is that just be careful with advertising open houses on your Twitter feed. I get it. I do the same thing sometimes. But it just doesn't, it's kind of like throwing, I don't think it's great, great thing to do. And also what she did here is, so she linked her Instagram to her Twitter. Okay, so there's on Instagram you can select in the Instagram app on the iPhone anyway. You can, hey, do you want to, you can select, do you want to send this over to Twitter? I always leave that off. I like to go, and it takes more time, but it's better to do. Because what you want to do. So if she wanted to post this, she should have posted it. She should have came over to Twitter to post that directly to Twitter. Posted it over at Instagram, and then Instagram also allows you to share it to Facebook. I would have, and that seems like it's really easy to do. But Facebook has some stuff on it, and the same with Instagram. And the same with Twitter. They have some things that you won't be able to use if you don't use their individual apps. Okay, so for instance, Twitter, I always like, when I post something on Twitter, I always like to post the location, the town that I'm in. Okay, so I live in Stoughton. So maybe, or sometimes I'll post, I work right out of my house. So Hub Edge Realty is my house. So maybe I'll post directly from Hub Edge Realty. And, Alexa thinks I'm talking to her. I have Alexa on the wall. I have an Echo Bee. It's brand new. It's kind of weird. So anyway, so she is engaging, and you can see that she engages pretty regularly. Okay. So we're not going to look too much more at Julie. All right. Let's, what am I doing here? I got this overlay. Oh, I can move it. I didn't know that. Okay. Oops. All right, what did I do wrong? Sorry about this. Okay. So let's just go to some random people. I happen to be, my company happens to be following a lot of local realtors. Actually, let's look at the latest posts. Okay. So Tatiana, sorry. Um, let's see who she is. Tatiana, sorry. Tatan. Why can't I say that word? Can't say that word. All right, so she's making a few mistakes, and this is not, and I'm not doing this to um, say anything bad about any realtors because maybe I'll work with her in the future. Okay. First of all, she doesn't have her last name on her Twitter profile. Maybe she doesn't feel comfortable, and if she doesn't, that's cool. Totally understood. I can totally understand that. Tatiana. Okay, Tatiana. All right. I know that sounds Russian. So I would, if I were her, I would put her last name on that, but it's up to her. Okay. It's nice to be home. I have the experience and knowledge to get you into your dream home. That sounds really canned. New listing, new condo for sale in Brookline. She's using in this one. She's on Twitter basically right now. What she's doing is she's using a lot of hashtags in her text, and it gets really hard to read. Okay. What I would like to see, not just from her, and I'm going to follow her right now. I would like to see not so many hashtags and only use hashtags at the end of a tweet. Nobody is going to, search the hashtag new or listing or condo or sale or parking or washer or central to find her condo. Nobody's ever going to do that. Maybe Brookline, maybe Washington Square. Open house, forget that one. That's way too generic as well. One thing I will also say is, tweets are indexable by the search engines. And you want to use a lot of words. Like, for instance, she says close to the C and D lines. Now, if you're from Brookline or even from Boston, you'll understand what that means. But maybe somebody is looking at this condo from out of Massachusetts. They don't know that the C and the D lines are on the green line. So what she might want to say is close to the MBTA's green line, or C and D lines on the green line, or something that has the word MBTA in it, because that will, maybe get more views. Also, that number 29 that she has here, use unit 29. That number 29 would be too generic. So listen, she's got some nice photos here. Okay, she didn't use just one photo. She used a couple of photos. Okay. One thing with these photos is, at least on the app, on the iPhone app, you can put some alternate text on them. And I would use those because they say that it's used for the people who are visually impaired, but there's also some SEO, search engine optimization benefits for that. And I know we're getting a little nutty talking about, SEO on tweets, but what are you going to do? Let's see, Brian O'Neill. Let's look at him. Moving sucks. Okay, I agree with that. Like I said before, he's moving. He's using his Instagram app, and he is feeding Instagram or Twitter directly through Instagram. The photo won't come over because Twitter knows that Facebook owns Instagram. So this tweet, you don't get the benefit of the photo. I'm not going to hit that Instagram link right now because we're just talking about Twitter. You don't get the photo. You don't get the native photo on Twitter. So you're losing your benefits by not using the Twitter app separately from the Instagram app. Okay, so let's clear that out. Tatiana. All right. Thank you, Tatiana. All right, let's look at some more tweets here. Titania. Oh, she's been all over it. That's an ad. Oh, Titania. All right, here we go. Mary Kay Severino. She is with Keller Williams, Blink Realty Group. She's in Melrose. All right. Let's give her a follow. All right. And let's look at this. 21 minutes ago, she retweeted the Globe Homes. Now, she's using the old style here. You don't do that anymore. I get it. That's the way that Twitter was sort of set up long ago. So she's using hashtags. Okay. She's got a photo here. That's just sort of like a generic photo. She's got a, Ashy home inspection. Like I should follow them too. I mean, yeah, Ashy, that's, you're calling out Ashy, but you're not really talking to Ashy. So I don't think that is an appropriate way to use a tweet. You use when you want somebody to see something, you at them, okay? Or you hashtag them. All right. She's not talking directly to Ashy. Help desk, how to hire a home inspector. Okay. This seems a little canned, I will say. I don't know if she's using a third-party service to help her tweet. A lot of real estate agents do that because they just don't want to use Twitter, or they don't know how to use Twitter. They don't have the time to use Twitter. It takes a long time. It's not easy. All right. A Chicago building that was once home to Al Capone has sold. I guess that's kind of interesting, but it's not really that interesting to anybody here in Massachusetts. Okay. So, I don't know. U.S. long-term mortgage rates rise 30-year to 4.12%. All right. Whenever I see like mortgage rates rise and mortgage rates fall, my eyes just glaze over, and I don't even want to forget it. I mean, nobody wants in a tweet. Nobody wants, I don't want to see that stuff. All right, that's a nice picture of a Back Bay mansion, $9.5 million. Sure, everybody's interested in looking at expensive houses. All right, and here's a GIF. Now using GIFs can be good. This one seems a little fast, but you don't have a lot of time to catch people's attention. I feel like she's using probably a third-party company who tweets for her. Nothing wrong with that. Again, just make sure when you hire these companies as a real estate agent that they do what you want them to do. So I like to just follow people. Maria Mastro, I'm just going to follow her. That seems a little canned. This real estate professional serving Reading, Mass, and surrounding areas. One important thing, Monique Maynard. It's really important to get your syntax correct. Okay. I'm proud to be a realtor with 30 years of experience. There should be spaces between that dash. But that does not look canned. That looks like she does something. She's doing that herself. So let's look at her real quick. She's in New Hampshire. She hasn't tweeted. Okay. She's got her link. All right. So let's go back. I'm not going to do New Hampshire. I'm not licensed there. Let's go back again. All right, come on. All right, come on. I know I looked at a lot of her stuff. All right, you know what? That's the Twitter has its own search language, like Google has its own search language, although many people don't use the, Twitter, near, Massachusetts, okay? If we looked at that whole thing there, it's pretty powerful, actually. Near Massachusetts, USA, within 15 miles. Okay, that's cool. All right, let's go to more people. Let's look at the Mass Association of Realtors. Let's get in trouble. All right. So you notice that they have photos basically with almost every one of their tweets. Okay, that's what they say. That takes a long time, especially with headlines about catastrophic storms driving interest in flood insurance. The emerging private flood insurance market is increasingly attractive. So this is from their own magazine. I don't know. All right, so they got somebody here who probably just works on this all day. Most realtors do not. Okay, let's look at. I'm gonna follow Boston Agent Magazine. Let's go look at them. Although they're not a realtor, I was profiled by them a long time ago, maybe 8 or 9 years ago. And again, I looked back at that and I said, wow, I was depressed. It's true. Okay. So these guys are pros. They know what they're doing. Photos with everyone. Again, unless you're buying stock images from Getty or one of these stock image sites, then you'd have to create your own. And who wants to do that, right? It's a lot of work. So just be authentic. All right, we're looking for authenticity. All right. Let's look at some videos. Melinda Davala Sarkis. Let's see. No fire station, no library, no local school. Would you live in a neighborhood like that? When talking about the Boston Seaport District, realtor Melinda Davala Sarkis says, build it and they will come. All right. So this is Greater Boston.
And potential buyers ask about things like schools and grocery stores.
So yes, those things do come up, and some are not here yet. So you just have to be really direct. But it's like Vegas, build it and they will come.
Public amenities in the Seaport will cost taxpayers money, but James Garrity points out residents here are paying their fair share.
It brings tax revenue.
Okay. Let's see. I used to work for Charlie Sarkis. Let's see if she's got. Go to people. There she is. All right. I'm going to follow her. Yikes. $100 million to restore Boston's old Northern Avenue Bridge. She hasn't been active since August of 2018, and she's probably busy. I don't blame her. What I notice is that let's see here. She likes Sting. All right. So she's not too active on Twitter, and that's fine. Who needs to be active on Twitter? And I don't really have anything really bad to say about her profile. She's got a nice profile photo. She's got a big HDR shot of the Boston Harbor and the skyline. Okay. And that's really it. So I don't really have anything bad to say about this one. Okay. Stephen J. Hussey. Now, it's a nice picture of him and his daughter giving him a kiss. Oh, he's a home inspector? Okay. So we're not going to really talk about that. Maxwell Associates, independently owned boutique real estate agency brokering realty solutions throughout Boston. Okay, so we're going to look at a brokerage. Now, I think that they just picked a gray header here. You can see that their photo, it could have been sort of a little bit, it looks like it isn't at the highest resolution. Okay. All right, open house tweets, April 7th. Open house tweets. Open house tweets. All right, this is not how to do it, okay? Nobody cares about open houses on Twitter. You're never going to find a buyer on it on Twitter. Coming to your open house, it's just not going to happen. Twitter is used to communicate, to become more accessible so people get to know you. And if I were a seller here, I'd be like, oh, great. My open house is going to be on Twitter, but, what's that worth? Especially with 76 followers. So not to, they've been on here since April 2009. Wow. All right. All right, so let's look at Heath Properties, real estate management, rentals, development, and acquisitions. Let's give them a follow. Looks like a stock image in their header. Let's go to replies, because replies are actually a little bit better. Replies mean that that Twitter account, that realtor, or that, it means that they're engaging. Anybody can send a tweet and never engage. You want to see that that realtor or that broker is engaging with other businesses or people on Twitter. Okay? So Heath Properties did retweet. We like to see retweets. All right. My buddy Keenan used to be chef at Sorlina. He wasn't the head chef. He was sous chef maybe at Sorlina when it first opened up. Good restaurant. Okay. So they like restaurants. I mean, maybe they sell a lot of restaurant space, Fire in the Ted Williams retweet. Hotels, restaurants. I mean, no arrests at the marathon. The Inn at St. Botolph. Okay. So, CrowdRise, I think CrowdRise is sort of like a way that people can now invest in real estate. I think. I'm not going to go to that link. All right, so not doing a bad job. They could fix this though. All right, it is a circle. Maybe get rid of all this stuff down there and just have that in there. Okay. All right. And Ford Realty. I know him, or I know of him. I know that he has been he's been writing a blog for a long time in Boston. So let's go to tweets and replies. This account hasn't been active for a while, since 2013. All right. But you can see that this, the guy who runs this account, you can see that he was involved. He wasn't just tweeting out canned stuff. Okay. He was using the Hootsuite most likely with those Owly links. I used Hootsuite myself. I stopped using Hootsuite. Nothing against Hootsuite, but I just stopped. All right. And that's maybe he started getting more active here. No. Okay. So, all right. No problem. You just, you want to try to keep your Twitter accounts active. When you see, 2012, 2013, when people haven't seen tweets from you in 6 years, they start to get a little suspicious, why, what happened to this company, But I think that they're doing fine. I don't know. Okay. So let's look at the Hub Edge Realty page. They keep on wanting me to do the sneak peek of Twitter, and I keep on telling them no. So let's go to the Hub Edge Realty page. This is my company's page. All right. It's not perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect Twitter page. And you can critique mine and tell me how bad it is. I mean, it's not perfect. Okay. What I did here is I got on the description here, I just changed that right before I went live here on Periscope. And I added, changed things around. I started using some emojis. I think emojis are kind of fun. They're not going to provide any SEO value for you. But, I try to match. I used all of the residential emojis that they had, and there were a lot of different commercial emojis, but I decided, there was a building and a hotel and a hospital and all that stuff. So I decided to get rid of all those and just use these city line, sunset over buildings, cityscape at dusk, night with stars. So I just decided to use those. I have my company's phone number in here, 617 Hub Edge. You can see that I'm in Stoughton. You can so when you do decide to use Periscope, you will be able to view the broadcasts. I thought I was tweeting out a link to this broadcast. Oh yeah, there I am. Oh, that's weird. All right, we'll stop doing that. We won't look at that. But, you look at the tweets and the replies. And so what I also did here is I think it's important to recognize your followers. And I do have a canned tweet whenever I get a new follower. And I use IFTTT. I don't know if you know what that is. If this, then that. So Tectonics Architects, I made a comment on their tweet earlier today. And they had they're doing a building up in Reading, and it looks good. And I just, through my company, I said, it's looking good. That's all. And I think it is looking good. So, got to be authentic. And they gave me a follow, which is great. Okay. This is a photo I took from my kitchen window where I'm broadcasting from now. I took that this morning at 7:30. Sun was hitting the pond just right where I live. Car was driving right across the culvert. So, usually these photos are for Instagram. But there's nothing wrong with putting a nice photo on Twitter. Sure, Instagram is where you're supposed to put your photos, but I also posted this photo to Instagram separately and to Facebook separately as well. You'll see that I've gotten a couple of followers lately. There's one of my contacts, Linsky Law. I got notified because they're in my contact database. And they just joined Twitter. So I saw that, and I sent them a welcome to Twitter tweet, and they replied. So it's a nice thing to do. Okay. I said today is opening day at Fenway Park a couple of days ago. Check out our header image for some Boston summertime inspiration. Go Sox. I used the sort of official hashtags, Dirty Water for the Red Sox and opening day for baseball. Okay. And, you can see that this evokes some thoughts of summer and baseball with that quote from, I made this on Canva, Canva. I had a subscription to Canva and I made it, it was a Twitter header. Canva is a great service. So, and then there's a guy in Boston. He runs a great sort of a news site, and it's Universal Hub, and he must go to every. I don't think he goes to the meetings, and well, actually, I think he did go to this meeting, and some of the. This was in Hyde Park, and some of the residents at the meeting were worried that Jack the Ripper was going to move in next door. I know it's hyperbolic, but it is what it is. So I thought that was a good story. And I just used, would you want Jack the Ripper to move in next door? Okay. And as you can see, I used hashtags that would be interesting to people who might live in Hyde Park. Okay. Hyde Park and Hyde Park, MA. Now let's get into this. So when you're going to use a hashtag for a town like Brookline or Hyde Park or Dorchester or whatever it is, I really think that you should put MA after those, because there's a Dorchester in England, there's a Hyde Park in New York and also in England as well. There is a Dorchester in England. So I use both. I use Hyde Park for people because there are lazy people who will not, put in the MA. Okay. And that's why I use realtor and realtors, because some people will, want to search the realtor hashtag or the realtors hashtag. HubEdge is the company hashtag. I basically append every tweet with that hashtag, Universal Hub, because that's, that's who wrote that story. So I wanted to give them some credit in case people wanted to see what else was going on with Universal Hub. So if you, click on the HubEdge hashtag, we'll look at the top ones. And obviously, nobody's really going to use the hashtag for HubEdge. I get it, except for me personally. There's my personal Twitter profile. Okay. Now, we've been looking at my HubEdge Realty profile. Okay. We're going to look at my personal profile, and, I'm going to tell you that I do a lot of stuff on Twitter that I'm not supposed to do. Okay. So let's go to my personal profile. And I've been on Twitter since April of 2008. I put my birthday there. I don't care if anybody knows my birthday. I put my business's link there. I put my Periscope link there. And what you can see there is my son passed away a couple of years ago, and, we donated his body. And life is a beautiful ride. I'm a big supporter of organ donation. We donated his entire body, as much as they would take. So in my, 170 words, I tell about me. I grew up in East Boston. Okay, I was in the Navy Seabees. I was in the Army Corps of Engineers after that. I graduated from UMass Boston. I'm a realtor at HubEdge Realty. Now, I could have used HubEdge Realty there, but I was kind of getting tight on the 170 characters. So I just used the hashtag, and that's clickable so people can look at the HubEdge Realty Twitter profile. Okay, I am an atheist, although I grew up Catholic. I am a libertarian. Okay. I am not perfect, and I never will be. So I am perfectly imperfect. I'm a spiritual atheist. I am a compassionate libertarian. Okay. So it tells stuff about me. All right. I think it's important for people on Twitter, for real estate agents, don't separate your life. Do you separate your work life from your real estate sales life? I know you don't. Because I don't. I mean, because I work 7 days a week. I work whenever anybody wants me, wants to go see some properties. I do it all the time. So I've decided that I'm going to use my personal Twitter profile mostly, I guess, as a personal Twitter profile, but I'm going to sprinkle in some real estate stuff because I do have that Hub Edge Realty profile, which I use mainly for business. Okay. This gets very personal. This pinned tweet. That's another thing that we didn't talk about. Pinned tweets are really important. Okay. So let's just go back to the Hub Edge. Oh, that's my business site. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Let's go back to the Hub Edge. I do have a pinned tweet here. Now, my pinned tweet here is kind of silly because it's about Facebook and we're on Twitter. So I'm thinking that I'll unpin that and I'll pin something else up there. Okay. Although I do have the link to the Facebook page right there. You can search real estate right on the Hub Edge Realty Facebook page, and there's a lot of options for doing so. I did this myself. I created it using Canva, okay, like we talked about before. So pinned tweets are important. If you want people to do something on your Twitter profile, pin a tweet. Now, I've been thinking a lot about my son. He would have been 2 years. He would have been 2 years old on February 9th. He actually died on April 15th. So I only had him for 2 months. So that's coming on. That's coming at the beginning of the week. And this photo, to me, is really personal. I created a thread. This is pastoral. I don't know if you've watched The Crown on Netflix. It's an excellent, awesome show. And there's a great episode. And they reference this etching, which is by an English artist named Graham Sutherland, who was in that episode. And it's okay to get personal on Twitter. Don't call anybody any names. Okay. I tagged one thing that you should be doing is you should be tagging. If you have a business that you're working with, say it's an attorney or something like that, you have a photo and that person from that business is in the photo, you tag them. So I tagged The Crown and I tagged John Lithgow because his character in that scene references this etching. Okay. And I created a tweet thread. I know that most real estate agents are in their 50s and 60s. And I know I'm probably barking up the wrong tree with all this stuff. But the younger, I hope if you're a younger real estate agent, you get this. This took a long time to do, this tweet thread. I researched it. Obviously I was expecting a little bit more traffic on it. I used a lot of hashtags and links, and this is my son here. So these are 3 photos that I put up, okay, that I took. And, hey, buddy. And, this is now, if somebody goes on Google, they should be able to see this tweet because I've used so many real words. I didn't use abbreviations. You ever get into a super comfy position in bed and then realize your ear is folded over? I was in bed last night on my phone and I tweeted that out. Stupid. Jerry Remy sounds awful. I feel bad for the guy. I mean, I know he's really battling his health issues, but I think it's time to time for him to hang it up, unfortunately. I love Jerry Remy. I loved him when I was a kid. Then I get into some stuff that gets controversial with race. I'm for everybody. I'm a libertarian, so I don't care what color you are or what religion. Every individual should be treated the same. Okay. And they caught that guy last night. I feel bad for the father because his son is now going to be, he turned his son in, terrible. Here's a poll I put up. Here's some fun. So, show this thread. I just used a 3-tweet thread. I've only had 5 votes. There's 3 days left, and you can vote on this if you'd like to, if you're a realtor. Okay. I'll talk about oh my God, I was having such a problem with getting an offer signed electronically. Oh my God, it was terrible. So I was frustrated. Okay. Guy who works at Hub Edge Realty, Ian Clinton, he lives in Scituate. He doesn't have a Twitter account. His nephew just won the national championship at Augusta National. I was so happy for Ian. So Hub Edge Realty tweeted that out, and then I personally retweeted that Hub Edge Realty tweet. I know it's kind of weird to do that, but Hub Edge Realty is a separate entity for me, and I just wanted to give Ian and obviously his nephew as much credit as possible. Okay. And that's it. That's all we're really going to go through. Okay. Here's one thing that I did on the Hub Edge Realty account. See this? When you use the app on the iPhone, you can say where you're tweeting from. And because this was at Augusta National, where the Masters is being played this weekend, I just got a little cute, and I put that Hub Edge Realty was in Augusta, Georgia. Okay. Twitter uses the Foursquare data. I know that you were like, Foursquare? Nobody's used Foursquare in forever. I still use Foursquare. I still have a Foursquare account. And Twitter uses the Foursquare location data to give location data. So Stoughton, Mass is generally where I will say that the tweet is coming from. Okay. So I know that 50 minutes, I have nothing better to do. I guess I don't. So that's it. Okay. Don't do what I do on Twitter. Personally, I go way over the edge. Okay. I am not perfect. Like I said, I'm perfectly imperfect. You got to be you on Twitter. You got to let people know who you are. So you want people to like you. And if they don't like you, you want them to understand who you are at the very least, and at least give them an opinion of you rather than being some amorphous thing out there. Nobody wants amorphous. They want to know who you are if they're going to do business with you. Or maybe they will learn who you are and not want to do business with you. And that's fine too, But you have to, don't play it way too safe like a lot of these realtors do. And just be, open house this, open house that. Nobody wants to read that. Be genuine, be yourself. And if you're boring, say boring things. All right? All right. I talk way too much. All right? So I love Tulsi Gabbard, by the way. I love Pete Buttigieg. I don't know. I've seen be having problems saying names today. So that's it. If you have any questions about this, please contact me. I am recruiting real estate agents. I am also sending out, I want people to know about my brokerage. It's completely different than most other brokerages. We're facilitators only, which means that we don't represent buyers or sellers. We represent the deals that they're involved with. Okay, so so that means that the deal has our obedience and loyalty, which is the way it should be. Okay, we think dual agency is a bunch of crap. We don't syndicate our listings to sites like Trulia and Zillow, although we do syndicate them to every other brokerage's site. We are realtors, which means that we adhere to a higher code of ethics. Not every real estate agent in Massachusetts is a realtor. Only about 50 to 60% of the active real estate salespeople are realtors. Some other states don't have that choice. Some of the states, I think Rhode Island is one of them, where you have to be a realtor if you have your license. So I had 12 agents working with me back in 2006, and I want to build a company culture of fun and trust and all that good stuff. And if you come aboard, if you're a realtor, if you know anybody who's a realtor, and they come aboard, I'm going to tell them like what the good stuff is and what the bad stuff is. All right. And this critiquing that I did for these other real estate agents, I'm not doing it to give them a ha-ha, because I know I'm not perfect. I'm trying to help them, even though they're maybe my competitors. I'm long since past the time in my life where I tried to do the gotcha kind of thing, because that's just stupid. I'm here to help people, buyers, sellers, and competitors even. I'm happy, doing that. Okay. All right. I can't believe I talked for like 50 minutes. I don't drink anymore. I don't go to the bars. I don't see people. So this is the best I got. All right. Listen, thank you so much. I hope you learned something about Twitter today. Even if you're not a real estate agent, I think this kind of helps you in whatever business with whatever business you're in. And that's it. All right. I'm always around. You can send me a DM. I think my DMs are open, as they like to say. You can tell me if you liked this video, you hated it. I know you probably didn't even watch it. But if you did, that's great. All right. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.